Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Rachel. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if it's not your first time here, thanks for coming back. So today, we are going to start the year-end declutter series here on my channel, and we are going to start with foundations. I have way too many foundations. I don't wear most of these foundations. I really am very picky with my base products, and so I really can get rid of a lot of these foundations. Anything that I am getting rid of, if it is extremely old, I throw it out. If it is something that I can pass on, I will pass it on to a friend or family member. So that's it, let's just get started. Just a little background on my skin type if you're wondering. I am extremely oily, very oily skin, and I'm 36 years old, so I do have some fine lines as well. And so let's go through these foundations. Right now here I have 29 foundations. That's too many. Now I don't have a goal of how many I want to get rid of, but I just want to kind of go with whatever my heart is telling me. So let's start off with some of the things that I know I'm not going to get rid of. So this is my absolute ultimate favorite foundation. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation Matte, and this is in the shade Bronze Beige. It is a literal perfect shade match for me in the summertime / now. It might start to get a little too dark as we get into winter, but right now this is so perfect, and I'm actually almost completely out of this. And I only bought this earlier this year, so that tells you how much I've been using it. So 100% I'm keeping this foundation without a question. Another one that I really like is the Makeup Forever HD Skin Foundation. I have mine in the shade 1N14. This is new to me. This obviously just came out this year. I think this is a beautiful foundation. It is more matte leaning, but it's very skin-like. It's very liquidy. It's really lightweight on the skin. It makes your skin look honestly like airbrushed. I will say that the shade match for me is not perfect. It is a touch like orange leaning, but it's okay. I deal with it because it was expensive. And I really like the finish of it, so I will be keeping this. Another one of my most favorite foundations is the IT Cosmetics CC Cream. And I actually feel like this has become too dewy on my skin. Like, it looks pretty dewy on my skin right off the bat, and it only gets more and more dewy as the day goes on. So I think if you have normal to dry skin, you would really like this. But it is a medium coverage CC, I mean, they call it a CC cream, but it's a foundation, like, let's be real. So I have a small size of the shade Light and a small size of the shade Medium. Medium for me right now is perfect, so I am gonna keep the medium, the small medium. And then I have a full size of the shade Light and a mini of the shade Light. So I'm gonna get rid of the mini because I feel like this is pretty old and it's pretty much gone anyway. And I like to have the Light for the winter time because it matches me a little bit better. So I'm gonna get rid of the mini Light and keeping the mini, medium, and the large Light. Another one of my most favorite foundations is the Pretty Natural Hydrating Foundation. This is one of my favorite, like, very affordable foundations. It is definitely very lightweight on the skin. It's medium coverage. It's from Essence, so I think it's under $5 if I'm not mistaken. I have mine in the shade 090 Neutral Suede. It's a great shade match for me, really. I'm pretty much done, like I'm down to here, so I'm gonna keep this and use it up, and I would definitely repurchase it. Now, it is a hydrating foundation, but I feel like for me, with oily skin, this still looks really nice, and it's not overly hydrating, like it doesn't feel greasy or anything, so I really like this foundation. I will be keeping it. Let's go to one that I know I'm getting rid of. The Pacifica Alight Clean Foundation. I bought this on super sale recently at Ulta, and I used it like 2 or 3 times, and I have literally never in my life hated a foundation more than I hate this thing. It is the worst foundation I have ever tried in my life. It is so thick, so cakey looking. It feels greasy. Upon application, it looks terrible. It's not even like it looks nice and then throughout the day it wears off. Like, as soon as you put it on your face, it looks terrible. So I definitely do not recommend this for anybody, no matter what your skin type is. It was literally the nastiest looking thing I've ever put on my face. I did get the shade 32WL. It's definitely being decluttered. And I'm throwing it out because I don't wish this upon my worst enemy. Another one that I'm gonna get rid of is the e.l.f. Camo CC Cream. I'm getting rid of this just because it's very old. I have mine in the shade Light 240W. Also, the shade match is a little orange on me. By the way, I meant to say my undertone is neutral olive, so I always have kind of a hard time finding olive undertoned foundations. So as you can see, this is like completely disgusting. So it's time to say goodbye. One that I am going to keep is this LA Girl Pro Color Foundation Mixing Pigment. And this is in the blue shade. And I really, really like this for neutralizing foundations that are too warm. So if I do have a foundation that is a little too orange, mixing in 1 or 2 little drops of this blue mixing pigment neutralizes it, and it really works. You don't want to put in too much, like only a couple of drops will do, but it actually does a wonderful job of helping neutralize foundations. They also have one that's like white if you want to lighten it. I think they have one that's like red if you want to make the undertone more red. I love this mixing pigment. I'm definitely keeping it. Another foundation that I really like is the Beauty Blender Bounce Liquid Whip Longwear Foundation. This is the foundation that I'm wearing on my face today, by the way. I have the shade 2.20 N/O. It's a nice, more matte leaning, but not overly matte foundation. I did find my shade at TJ Maxx, so I did buy a backup, but I'm actually going to get rid of this one because I've had it for quite a while. And when I did use it today, squeezing it out, it was a little bit, it was kind of like thick feeling. I think it's going bad, and there's no real way to like mix this up or like get in there. So I'm just going to keep the brand new one, and I'm going to throw out this one because I've had it for quite a while. This one, terrible. This is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Perfector 4-in-1 Whipped Matte Makeup. Do you remember the Dream Matte Mousse from Maybelline? I know you do. It's what nightmares are made of, right? This is literally the same thing. So I'm going to squeeze it out on the back of my hand so you can see. Do you see that? Tell me that is not. I need to get this off my hand immediately.
12 seconds later.
This really does not do much in terms of covering anything. It really just tints the skin. I have mine in the shade light/medium, and I feel like it really basically self-tans my face. That's kind of all it does. It doesn't give any sort of coverage or anything like that. It does give a slight blurring effect, but because it's basically pure silicone. So the texture is what I can't get past though. I cannot get past it, so I'm gonna get rid of this. Next, I have the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator. I have mine in the shade light medium. This is a really nice foundation. It's a little more hydrating than I normally go, but I think generally speaking, it's pretty nice. I don't have any major problem with it. I am going to keep it a little bit longer, maybe try it for the winter time and see how I feel. But yeah, I think it's nice. It's fine. It's definitely more lightweight. It's kind of in the same realm as the Pretty Natural from Essence. The only thing is the Wet n Wild is definitely more hydrating, I would say. So I'm going to keep this one for now. All right, I have a tiny little sample of the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. And I think I got it from Sephora with an order or something like that, free gift with purchase, and it is way too light. Like even when I'm at my lightest, it's too light. So I'm getting rid of it. There's no point in me keeping it around. It's never gonna match me. This is in the shade Light 5 Fiji. Another one that I'm getting rid of is the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Full Coverage Foundation. I have mine in the shade Medium Olive. So this was one that I had bought years ago, and I hadn't remembered why I decluttered it. I was thinking, oh, you know, like it's a matte foundation. I think maybe I would like it now because my skin has really changed in the past 6 months to a year. Before that, I wasn't really oily. I was more normal skin. So I repurchased it thinking, okay, I'll try this again. Like maybe I'll like it more now. No. This is extremely dry and cakey, and that is coming from someone with very oily skin. I don't like it. And then the shade Medium Olive is way too deep for me. Even in the summertime, it's way too deep for me. So overall, this foundation just didn't work out for me. I don't like it. I don't suggest it. Even, again, very oily skin, it looked dry and cakey on me. And it says full coverage. It's not full coverage. I would give it medium tops coverage. This one, I totally forgot that I had. This is like a little mini of the Too Faced Born This Way matte foundation. This is in the shade Light Beige. I want to get a full size of this. I remember absolutely loving this. Now again, the shade doesn't really match me right now, but come the winter time, it might match me a little bit more. I'm going to try to wear it again. and I really enjoyed how this looked. It did remind me a lot of the Wet n Wild matte foundation, although I think the Born This Way has a little bit more coverage, pretty close to full coverage, but it felt very skin-like. It didn't break up on me or look funky throughout the day, so I'm definitely gonna keep this. I wanna use it again, and I wanna try to find like my perfect shade with it. This is so unfortunate. I did have like a mini version of this Tarte C Hydroflex foundation that I got with a free gift with purchase, and I used it up. This was probably a couple of years ago, and I really, really liked it a lot. And then I bought the full size, and then I never used it because I don't know if the shade wasn't right at the time of year, and then my skin got really oily. So this for me with oily skin is not the best. It's quite hydrating. It's very serum-like. So if you're someone with dry skin and you like a light to medium coverage, this is actually a really nice one. Very, very serum-y. It gives a really pretty glowy finish to the skin. The shade light, medium, neutral worked for me in like the summertime-ish. And so, yeah, but unfortunately I've had it for so long, I don't even want to pass this on to somebody because I feel like it's probably really bad. Let's try it out. Yeah, look at that. It's all broken up. And I just shook it, so, and it's like green. Okay, I want that off my hand too. It's getting decluttered. Okay, moving on. Another one of my most favorite foundations is the Milani Screen Queen. I have mine in the shade 260 Warm Bisque. I love this foundation. It's definitely more on the slightly more hydrating side for me as someone with oily skin, but I don't think it's overly hydrating. It just gives a really beautiful, like natural, healthy look to the skin. And the color is not perfect for me. It is a little orange, but I bet if I mixed in a little bit of this blue pigment, it would work out better. It's more on the thicker side, but it's also, it's not like thick in terms of moussey. It's more thick and also hydrating, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's a beautiful, beautiful drugstore foundation. I don't know that you can find it a lot of places. If I can find it online, I'll link it down below. But I would say no matter what your skin type, I think you would really enjoy this. So I'm gonna keep this one. Okay, this one I've had for years and it's literally survived so many declutters and I have not used it. I haven't used it in years. And again, with me having more oily skin now, I don't think this is gonna work out for me. This is the Misha BB Cream. This is in the shade number 23. This is a very, very hydrating, almost skincare infused feeling type of product, which would be wonderful if you have dry skin. I think you would really enjoy this. But for me, it's just too much. And then also the color is very gray leaning. Yeah, you can see it. Well, maybe you can see, but it's very, very gray leaning. Oh, that's so weird. Not for me. I'm gonna get rid of this one. One that I'm gonna keep is the One Size Turn Up the Base BBB Cream. I have mine in the shade Medium 1N. I like this foundation. It's not my most favorite foundation. I actually prefer to wear this on days where I'm filming. I feel like it looks beautiful on camera, but in person, it's not the most flattering. It's a little thicker. It does actually, in my opinion, on my skin, emphasize my pores a little bit if I'm not careful, but it's definitely more a texture thing. It's pretty thick, but I think that it looks really pretty on camera and it does a really good job of giving, I would say, medium to full coverage. Like it's got a lot of coverage to it. So I'm definitely gonna keep this one around. Another one that I'm gonna keep around is from Kosas. This is the Kosas Revealer Skin Improving Foundation. I have mine in the shade Light and Neutral Olive 160. And this is a really good shade match for me in the winter time. It's far too light right now, but probably in January and February, I'll be able to wear it. This is, for me, more hydrating, but it does look beautiful on the skin. It really does. I can't really wear this for a full day wear. It will start to break up on me, but if I want to wear it for a short amount of time and look just very healthy and glowy and youthful, I really like this one a lot. The smell is kind of jarring. It's kind of chemically, but I don't smell it once it's on my skin and it dries down. So I'm gonna keep this one. I really like it, other than the smell. All right, one that I'm not gonna keep is the Flower Get Real Serum Foundation. I have mine in the shade Nude L3. I don't like this one. I did buy it for a full face of Flower Beauty that I did earlier this year, and upon application, I was kind of like, it's okay, it's fine. But the more that I use it, the more I really don't like it. This is extremely thin, like almost watery, and you have to really shake it up because it separates quite easily. Like even with me shaking it, it's very separated. Shake I also just don't like how it looks. It just looks greasy on my very oily skin, and I don't like it. I'm not gonna keep it. I'm gonna get rid of it. This is a sad one to talk about because this is the NYX Bare With Me Tinted Skin Veil. I love this product, but they don't make it anymore. This is my favorite tinted moisturizer. It is just extremely beautiful, light coverage if you want to just even out your skin tone. It's not greasy, but it's not dry and cakey. It just gives you this beautiful little halo about you. I have mine in the shade True Beige Buff, which matches me in the winter time. I love it. I love it. I'm gonna keep it. Sorry if I got you excited for it and you can't get it anymore. All right, another one I'm gonna keep is the Oma by Sharon C Flawless in Real Life Skin Perfecting Foundation. I have mine in the shade Fair Lady T6. This foundation is okay. I did actually recently use it again for the first time in a while, and it was nice. It definitely, by the end of the day, I was very, very oily, but when I first applied it for the first few hours, it looked quite nice actually. The shade matches me really nicely right now, and it gives a good medium coverage. It's a good drugstore foundation. I think it's nice. I think if you had normal skin, if your skin wasn't as oily as mine, you would probably enjoy it a little more, but I still think it's good. I still want to keep it, and yeah, I'm keeping it. Another one that is pretty hard to find, although this does show up in my Walmart every once in a while, I do see it. This is the Physicians Formula, the Healthy Foundation. I have mine in the shade MN4. I did have like 3 bottles of this, and I did declutter the other 2 last time I did a declutter, so I only kept around MN4. This is a summer shade for me, but even so, at this point with the amount of oiliness that my skin has, I cannot wear this on its own. It's just way too dewy for me. If you have very dry skin, I think you would love this because it is gorgeous. It is gorgeously dewy. Oily skin, it's not the best. What I do actually use this for, because it has a doe foot applicator, I use this as a cream bronzer, and it gives like just the perimeter of my face a really nice glow while adding a little bit of that deeper warmth, but not too warm. It's still neutral, and I like it. I just don't like it in the T-zone because that's where I get oily. So I've been using this more as a cream bronzer or just to mix into a foundation that might be too light. So I'm gonna keep this one around. Okay, one that I'm gonna get rid of is the Physicians Formula Butter Believe It Foundation and Concealer. I have mine in the shade Light to Medium. I really don't like this foundation. I feel that it's extremely heavy on the skin. It looks cakey on my skin. It sinks into all the lines. It feels heavy and it feels thick. And I didn't enjoy it. I did pick this up not that long ago, and I did use it a few times, but I kind of instantly know that I'm not gonna use it. I'm not gonna reach for it. This is one that I will pass on to someone else because I really honestly probably bought it earlier this year and I only used it a couple of times, but it's not for me. And then these last 3 I'm going to keep. So the Born to Glow from NYX, again, I don't think they make this anymore. I don't know why they do this. They discontinue so many good products. This is in the shade Nude. I love this foundation. Me as someone with oily skin, it is not overly dewy. It just adds this glow, but without being sticky, without being actually like wet on the skin. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they do it or how they did it because they don't do it anymore. It is a beautiful foundation. The shade match is perfect for me. It does have a slight olive tone to it. I love it. I love it. I'm keeping it. I'm using it till it's gone. The L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear. This is a classic. It's a classic, beautiful foundation. I did recently repurchase this because I think I had one that was the wrong shade for a really long time. This is the shade 425. It is a beautiful skin-like medium to full coverage, lasts all day, doesn't look cakey. It doesn't really lean matte or dewy. It's right in that satin, just airbrushed, beautiful foundation. I haven't used this in a long time. I think it's a little light for me right now, but come the winter, I'm pulling this bad boy out again. I'm keeping it. And then last but not least, this has been kind of rotating with my Wet n Wild foundation all summer as my summer foundation. This is it has the longest name in the world. Here we go. CoverGirl Outlast Extreme Wear Light Airbrush Finish 24-hour transfer resistant SPF 18 liquid foundation. I have mine in the shade 842 medium beige. Perfect summer shade for me. It's beginning to be a little too dark for me now, but I want to keep it. I want to keep it. I want to get one more summer out of it. This is a beautiful medium to full coverage. Definitely matte, but not overly drying matte like I talked about with the NYX foundation. But I would say if you have dry skin, you probably wouldn't like it. But if you have normal to oily skin, gorgeous for like an event situation. It lasts all day. It looks beautiful. I love it. Okay, so I'm gonna lay out the ones that I'm gonna keep and the ones that I'm gonna declutter. We're gonna count it and see how I did. Okay, so I am keeping 18 and decluttering 11. Pretty good. I thought I was gonna declutter more, to be honest with you, but all of the ones that I'm keeping I actually like. So, you know what? I'm actually gonna declutter the tinted hydrator from Wet n Wild. I feel like the Pretty Natural is very, very similar, and I like the Pretty Natural more. So I don't think I need both. So I think I'll get rid of that. So 12 and 26. Wait. 17 keeps, 12 declutters. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this foundation declutter. It feels really good to get rid of the stuff that I'm not using, and it frees up some space in my collection. So stay tuned, I'm gonna be doing more. I'm not gonna do every single category in my collection, but I'm gonna do a few. So there's definitely some things I need to get rid of, and I am getting new organization shelves. So I'm so excited to be able to put my stuff in shelves, and I want to make sure it all fits. I don't want it overflowing. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Have you used any of these foundations? Do you agree like with my declutters or my keeps? Would you have done the same? Let me know down in the comments. And if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot when you do that. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe before you leave. I do upload videos weekly, both beauty and fashion videos, and I would love to see you back on my channel again. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.